You know that feeling when you walk into a quaint little bookstore and there's an old man sitting at the till reading Bleak House for the Umpteenth time, and there are hard wooden floors which creak when you go along the shelves which are lined from top to bottom, and there are tables filled with books which you've seen booktubers rave about? Well, that feeling made me leave that quaint little bookshop with this pile of books. So I thought, let's do a book haul, yeah? The reason I actually went into that quaint little... I keep saying quaint, whatever. The reason I actually went into that bookstore was because the man Booker Shortlist had been announced the day before, and I had tried my hand at the long list. I had read 4 books on it. I had read... I already had read Swing Time by Zadie Smith way back when, in January or something like that. But from July onwards, I read Exit West by Mohsin Hamid, which made the shortlist. But I had also read Reservoirs 13 and Solar Bones, both of which I really love, but, you know, I guess the judges didn't. So, yeah, I still have 5 books on the shortlist to read, so I thought, yeah, let's buy some. And the first one that I bought is, well, a massive chunkster, and that is 4321 by Paul Auster. And this is actually the 4 lives of the main character, but, you know, he relives his 4 lives, and it's about how one decision changes his life. And I have to say that I wasn't really all that keen to pick it up when I saw it on the long list, because it's a whopping 1,000 or more pages, and I do like the whole multiple lives arc, because, you know, I loved Life After Life, and I loved the one with Harry August or something like that, who keeps living his life in a different way than how A Life After Life by Kate Atkinson is written. But, you know, I love the multiple lives story arc, but, you know, 1,000 pages is quite a commitment. I don't think I have ever read a book so thick, but, you know, I'll have a go at it. And I actually read a very tiny portion of it on the train home, and yeah, I liked what I read, so here goes nothing. And the second and last shortlisted book that I picked up that day is Autumn by Alice Smith. I know this has been called the first Brexit novel because it takes place when Great Britain voted to leave the EU. And, you know, that's already controversial in itself, so I'm quite keen to see how Alice Smith writes about that. But it's mostly about the friendship between a young girl and her neighbor, Mr. Gluck, who is already very old in her eyes. So, yeah, I'm not sure how big of a part Brexit will play in this, but like I said, it's something that I'm curious to read about. Then, speaking of the man Booker, I read, like I said, Reservoirs 13 by John McGregor, and I really loved that one, which made me pick up If Nobody Speaks of Remarkable Things by him, which was also long listed for the Booker, I think, somewhere 2002, 2003. I'm not sure how long it has been, but in Reservoir 13, which I talk about in my summer wrap-up, which I'll link down below, I talk about how I really loved the whole community when a village comes together, when a girl disappears, and this is apparently about one street, about the people who live on that street. So yeah, I really love a novel about a tight-knit group, or, you know, something which is very local and very, I presume, recognizable, because, you know, everybody lives on a street. Oh my god, I was gonna say everybody lives on the street. Well, I guess they do. Way to go, Jeffrey. Then another one that I saw on a shelf, and which has previously interested me to read, and that is Ghosting by Jonathan Kemp. I'm not sure if this is an author that a lot of people know. Well, not a lot of people that I know him, but maybe he's famous in Great Britain, I don't know. This is about a woman who has lost her daughter when her daughter was a teenager due to drugs and alcohol, I think. And it's about how her life has progressed from that, and also how her life progressed from being in an abusive marriage. So this is really the story about how a woman has taken has picked herself up again after so many tragedies in her life. So yeah, looking forward to reading that one also. Well, otherwise I wouldn't have picked it up. Then one that I saw Matthew Sharapa, I'll link his channel down below, talk about in a video that was called All the Dirty Parts, which is the title of the book, and Hetero Nonsense. So I had just picked that one up when I saw that video, and I was thinking, well, oh, well, there goes my reading enjoyment of that one. But yeah, still curious to see what this one is about. I just know that this is about a teenage boy and how teenage boys can be, how, you know, irresponsible and horny all the time they are. So I thought it would be a fun read. So let's see. Then we have another man Booker shortlisted, or maybe longlisted way back when, and that is Outline by Rachel Cusk. Cheeky cover. I actually only picked this up because it says that it starts with an airplane conversation, and when I'm not reading on an airplane, I like to talk to my neighbor. Whether I know that neighbor or not, and preferably when I don't know that neighbor, because, you know, people can't run from you when you talk to them on an airplane. And yeah, just, you know, the way that this starts will probably very amuse me and interest me, because yeah, I am one of those people. I'm sorry. Then we have another booktube favorite, I think, well, amongst the people who have read it, and that is Weathering by Lucy Wood. This is also one that I have dipped my toes in. Is it dip your toes in? I think so. Dip my toes in because this is also one that takes place in the English countryside, just like Reservoir 13. And like I said, that is a book which has really intrigued me and which I really like. So I guess my choices to buy books have been a little bit influenced by that book. So yeah, Weathering by Lucy Wood, and this starts with how a grandmother drowns in a river, and her daughter and her granddaughter have to come to the place where she has drowned herself, and yeah, just empty her house and take stock of her life, which I think will be quite sad, but yeah, also quite emotional, which I could do it. Then, still 4 books to go, people. Then we have Salt on My Skin by Benoite, who is a French author and who passed away last year or 2 years ago at the ripe age of 97 or something, I think. And this is actually a book which has been chosen for my real life book club. And I have to say, this sounds a little bit too romancy for my taste, but I'm willing to give it a go. And also, I don't read enough French literature. And although I have picked this up in the Dutch language, I am really, you know, I want to read more things in French again. So if this interests me, if this is a book that I really like, I'm willing to pick up something more by her, but then in French. So let's see it as an experiment. Then we have a sequel or a prequel or something equal, I don't know how to describe it, and that is Anything is Possible by Elizabeth Strout. I have, well, you can see her other novel, My Name is Lucy Barton here, and this is also about Lucy Barton, who returns to the village or to the small Midwestern town that she grew up in, a town of which we hear some snippets in Lucy Barton, in the first book, because you know, it's about how she grew up. Well, in that other book, it's about how she has fled from her destitute childhood. So it will be interesting to see her return to the village, which made her so miserable. And yeah, it's always nice to have a book which features, well, which highlights or puts the spotlight on something of another book which you really enjoyed. So thank you, Elizabeth Strout. Then we have, well, I said that Weathering was a booktube favorite. This is actually a booktube favorite, and that is The Martian by Andy Weir. Everybody knows this book. It's about how, well, I want to say Matt Damon because of the film, but it's about how the main character in this book is one of the first people to walk on Mars, but he gets left behind and he has to survive there, which, well, I haven't actually seen the film, so this will be all new to me, but I do think that he survives. I'm not sure actually, so he may as well die in the first page, who knows. And then the last one is actually one that I didn't pick up in that bookstore, but you know, if we made it this far, I feel like we can be honest with each other. This is one that I actually bought on the Book Depository, I think. Yeah, Book Depository. And that is I Loved You More by Tom Spanbauer. And I have to say that this is one which has been recommended to me multiple times on Goodreads because of the other books that I read. This is about a gay guy, a straight guy, and a woman that comes between them in a way that Tin Man was a bit like that, but actually also not. But I think that this will be far more dramatic. Well, Tin Man was very heart-wrenching, but I didn't feel the drama in it, which was good. But I think that this will be far more dramatic, which is also good, but it's a whole different story than Tin Man, but you know what I'm saying. I don't know. Do I know what I'm saying? Anyway, this is about how a gay guy is being tormented by his love for a straight guy and the woman that he is with, and I think that a lot of people can relate to that, so I'm ready to have my heart broken by this book. So yeah, bring on the tissues. Or not. That sounded weird. So those were the 11 books, well, 10 books that I picked up in that bookstore, and one book that I didn't. If you have read any of those books, please leave a comment down below and tell me what you thought about them. If you have any recommendations based on those books, well, you know the drill. Yeah, let's just have a chat in the comments down below, and yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!